It's inevitable, guys. You're gonna stay out past your bedtime and have to ride home in the dark of night. The only problem is there's a whole new host of dangers that you're gonna encounter that the average street rider might not be prepared for. But they say knowledge is power, and today we're gonna give you 5 tips to keep you safe the next time you're stuck out after dark.
What's the biggest difference between riding around during the day and riding at night?
It's dark outside. Now, you might live in a city or suburbs with a lot of street lights, but even if those lights are bright as 1,000 suns, you're gonna have pockets where it's dark. And if you wanna be able to see in those dark spots, you'll have to ditch that smoked visor. You see the guys in GP wearing their smoked visors in the sun so they can see what's going on, but the second it gets cloudy, they're switching out to clear visors and they're still racing around in the middle of the day.
Now, I know you've seen me wearing these sunglasses before on the channel, and it's not just because they make me look beautiful. It's because I actually ride home in the night more often than not, and it's way easier for me to carry a pair of sunglasses and just a clear visor than a smoked visor and a clear one. If I get stuck out at night, all I need to do is take my sunglasses off, put them in the neck of my shirt, and I'm good to go. I don't have to bother carrying around a second visor, swapping it out, and finding a spot to store the old one.
I'm hearing 2 actuallys in the comments right now. First, I'm hearing people say that it's totally fine to ride with a tinted visor because you can just pop it up and ride without the visor in your face.
Now imagine you're rolling down the street with your dark adjusted eyes and somebody drives by you with their high beams on in the middle of downtown. Happens all the time here in Austin. Now suddenly you've got an eye full of tracers and you can't see what's going on through an already darkened shield. Man, sunglasses, folks. It's just a better choice.
Secondly, the human eye adjusts pretty slowly to light. The rods and cone cells can take up to 20 minutes or even more to fully adjust. It's why you get those tracers in your vision when you look up at the sun. Your eye's cells are being bleached by the light. Try walking in from a bright sunny day into a dark room and seeing what happens.
Riding super sports at night is the quintessential 600 squid experience. You get to max out your speedometer on the highway because, you know what? You paid for the whole speedometer, so you're going to use the whole speedometer. In reality, though, instead of speeding on your clapped out piece of junk, you can actually win our ZX6 that we're featuring in this video. That's right, time is running out to get entered to win our ZX6. In fact, May 13th is the last day you can get entered to win it. So we're doing something special for all you 600 squids out there. If you use the code 186MPH, you will earn max entries for the month on any purchase you make. I know that many of you out there would kill to get a track-ready ZX6R like the one we've got, but now you don't need to resort to such violence to get a chance to win one. Head over to shop.yamanoob.co and use the code 186MPH and get yourself max entries for any purchase. Time's running out. Be speedy. Get entered to win.
Now slow down there, Speed Racer. I know you're wanting to do a bunch of highway pulls on the highway at night, but you don't want to be riding faster than your headlight.
But Spike, the speed of light is 670,200,000 miles an hour. Well, now I know motorcycles are fast, but even the Turbo Hayabusa is not that fast.
Yeah, sure, your motorcycle isn't going that fast relatively, and it does mean that your headlight is always going to be throwing light in front of you, but it's only designed to throw light between 25 and 40 feet in front of you. At 60 miles an hour, you're covering 88 feet per second, giving you less than a half a second to see, diagnose, and react to an obstacle.
Oh, but come on, Spike, that's what high beams are for, man. They're going to give you all the light.
No, man, you have high beams and stuff, but they're not designed to just give you a ton more light. They're meant to throw it around you so that you can see what's on the side of the road just a little bit further down, and you shouldn't be riding with your high beams on anyway unless you're out in the country.
If you're rolling around with your high beam on, you might be thinking that you're making yourself easier to see, but you're actually blinding oncoming drivers. And in the case of older bikes with side-by-side headlights, you might be fooling a driver into thinking you're actually a car about a block away. The safest way to ride at night is to slow down and run with just your low beams.
You look like a radioactive nerd.
Look, guys, I know nobody wants to ride around like a giant safety cone, but what do you think's easier for a driver at night to see? Now look, you don't need to be a complete BMW boy and roll around in your neon yellow highlighter suit brighter than the light of 1,000 suns. And sure, maybe your subtle gear has some light strips on it, so that a car crawling up your butt at night might just be able to see some reflections. But when you're in a dark, low-lit scenario like, oh, I don't know, nighttime, subtle is not exactly the best answer.
Pick some bright colors, maybe something that matches your bike. Whites, reds, and blues are all more visible at night than black and gray. You might also consider grabbing a helmet that contrasts with the rest of your gear just so that the eye is drawn to it.
Part of the reason why I wear a white helmet is so that I'm easier to pick out at night. And it's not all that dorky looking, except for the horrendous skull graphic on the side of it. But anything that's gonna help me not get rear-ended by a driver, that's a plus in my book. Now, we talked a little bit about the science of seeing at night in that last piece, but it's not just headlights that are gonna mess up your night vision. A lot of these fancy motorcycles today have these big TFT displays that are really bright, but they do have their night modes. Even still, you don't wanna be shining a bunch of light in your face while you're riding at night.
While I'm an advocate for riding with your phone on your handlebars, I'd recommend not having your phone on while you're trying to ride at night for the same reason. It's basically the same thing as a TFT dash.
Now, you might have your phone on your handlebars and it might have a dimmer on the screen, and you might be a world-class texter and driver, but you don't want to be distracted by a bunch of lights on your dashboard. Stay focused on the ride, my dudes. Now, if you're heading home late at night and you don't want to have your phone on your handlebars, the smart play is to get yourself a Cardo system. They're proudly sponsoring this video, and they make some of the best comm systems out on the market. They're great for some mood music while you're riding home at night, maybe some synthwave to go with your fancy Triumph, or to have navigation going in your helmet without having to look at a bright screen. Click that link down below and get yourself the Cardo Pack Talk Edge, which has all these updates, DMC2, and a whole bunch of other features that have been upgraded for their new unit. Or if you wanted to save some cash, there's the Spirit line, which has all the features you need and nothing you don't. Click that link down below and pick one up on shop.yammynoob.co, and not only will you be helping out Cardo, but you'll be supporting the channel and all the shenanigans that we do here.
If you're going to be riding around at night, it's not just light coming off your handlebars that you need to be looking out for. Light bouncing off your mirrors, high beams coming at you, and other street lights can mess up that precious night vision of yours. Obviously, the answer is don't look at it, but if you have to, a nice little trick is to close one eye when you do. It'll preserve your night vision in the other. That's an old trick from the days of pirating. Avast, ye scurvy dogs.
The body shots were nothing. Oh my gosh, the tequila shots were the ones that got me. I think I have a hair between my tooth. Oh, all right. Let's get this party home. Oh. Yikes.
Look guys, Austin's a party city, and plenty of times a bunch of folks go out who really shouldn't be getting behind the wheel, and they do it anyway. If a completely sober driver out there is gonna have a hard enough time seeing you at day, do you think that a drunk driver is gonna see you at night?
You're never going to be 100% sure to avoid drunk drivers, but you can up your chances by avoiding certain parts of town. Stay away from the party spots, stay away from the places with a bunch of restaurants, and if you have to roll through those parts of town, keep your head on a swivel and cover that front brake.
Now, I'm sure you're thinking that this is just a city problem, but trust me, I got plenty of good old boy buddies who have left the bar with a roadie in each hand because they know Sheriff Bob's at home with the wife. Also, remember, the closer you get to home, the more likely you are to clock out. When you're on the bike and until you get in your driveway, stay alert and stay focused, man. Now, hopefully all these tips have helped you out next time you need to go ride home at night. If you think we've missed anything, let us know down below. And remember, a big shout out to Cardo for supporting this video. I'll catch you guys in the next episode of Yammy Noob.
Keep watching Yammy Noob!